Hey, it's Dave Wyman. Time for Football 101 from Germany. Fresh off the plane from Germany. So if I sound like I'm a little tired, my apologies. But hey, it really was a blast. We had a great time. The culture out there is amazing. First NFL game. It's too bad the Seahawks weren't able to get a win. They lose 21-16 to the Buccaneers. But I would say don't be discouraged. I think this is a really good Tampa team. And Tom Brady is ridiculous. Just being there in person, seeing him throw some of those passes that were just right on the money and just right where our defenders had tight coverage. It was just that he was able to work those in. So they lose 21-16. A lot of it was the run game. You know, they end up running for over 160 yards, and they had been averaging 61 yards, so 100 yards more. I thought maybe the Seahawks underestimated their run game. So one of the things I want to look at is the Seahawks had a really good game against the Giants run game wise, and held them to 72 yards, 2.7 yards for Saquon Barkley. And so let's take a look at one of the plays from the Giant game and, you know, just sort of see what's the difference as far as just the count in the box, meaning how many guys do you have in the run box down inside in between the hashes. And this very first one here, you see that you know, Quandre Diggs is pretty deep here, but still, let's count the gaps here, okay? So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, okay? Now let's count the players to man those gaps, the defenders. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so that's why this ends up being a tackle for a loss, because they have enough guys in the box. And I didn't count Quandre, but he's back there and he comes up in support pretty quickly. All right, and here's how after the ball is snapped. So you can see that the guard here pulls, and so Jordan Brooks right here is going to follow him, and he's looking to kick out the defensive end. This 85 is going up on the safety right there. But still, you've got, you know, Bruce is on the backside. That gap, you got that gap covered, you got that gap covered. And then you got Jordan Brooks coming through, you know, following the pulling guard right there. So they have the Giants overmanned here. So this is why, one of the reasons why they had such a good game against the Giants. And here you see that the guard goes that brought Jordan Brooks over here. He pulls to kick out Boye Mafe, who's the defensive end. And so Brooks gets over the top and is able to make a tackle on Saquon Barkley in the backfield. And this is all you need to see right there. And that was really pretty awesome tackle by Jordan Brooks, because that Saquon Barkley's a big, strong guy. But, you know, they obviously knew that the Giants were going to run the ball. Based on coming into the game, they were the number 2 rush team in the league. So they gave their running game a lot of respect, and we'll see against Tampa, not so much. All right, so let's just look at the gaps inside in this formation here and how many players they have to man those gaps. I'm talking about the defense, the Seahawks. And, you know, this is just kind of, look, they thought going into this game, I'm pretty sure anyway, that since they ran the ball 61 yards per game, they had a game where they ran it, I think it was 9 times for 6 yards against the Chiefs. So this running game was just entirely inept. This is their rookie, Rachaad White, and he had over 100 yards. But, you know, this defense was more poised to stop the pass and not so much the run. So let's just look at the number of gaps. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and outside of him, make it 7. All right, how many players do we have inside to man those gaps? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's 7 on 6. And, you know, it looked also a little bit like some of the linemen were two-gapping. So meaning you take a guy on head up and then you play one side or the other. And a lot of times, you know, the backer is sitting there waiting to see which side is the defensive tackle, going to take. And then he goes, you know, the other way off, you know, according to how the tackle plays the block. All right, one of the things that kind of muddies the water a little bit is that the tight end was lined up here. Now he's folding back inside, so he is an extra blocker, and that's what creates 7 gaps for 6 players. So, and then that causes some hesitation on Jordan Brooks, and then also I think Cody Barton hesitates a little bit because he's waiting to see what happens with this block right here. You know, is this guy going to come up and he's going to take the tackle, or is it going to be the other way around? So they're both kind of just sitting there waiting to see, you know, and read the block, which way it's going to go. It looks like that's going on here too, you know, and so that means you're coming down the middle of a blocker, and you're going to decide which way to go, and the backers are just kind of sitting around hanging back there waiting to see which side are you going to play. And that's one of the reasons I think why their run defense wasn't good in the first 4 games. All right, so here's a couple of things on this. So Cody Barton takes this guy on head up because he's not quite sure which side. Same thing here. This tackle takes this block on here, and that causes Jordan to kind of guess and go to the backside. Cody still hasn't chosen a side. Now here's what's really important is that the safety is coming to fill in. This is Ryan Neal. Well, he's waiting to see now, you know, Cody's waiting to read this guy's block, and now he's waiting, Ryan Neal is waiting to see which side Cody takes. And so, and I know a lot of safeties, Paul Moyer, when he and I played together, he would say, look, if you're not sure, take a side quickly, so then that way I can decide which side to go to. But Cody just kind of hangs around here, and now when Ryan Neal comes up, he's not really sure where to go. So there was a lot of hesitation on this play, and you can see that the rookie running back, Rachaad White, he did a really good job of sort of hesitating, letting the block set up, and then just hitting the gas. And here you go. This is what I talk about. It's called a wall of butts. Basically, I mean, you're turned on this guy. You've got the block here. You've got this side sealed off, and there's just this hallway right here for the running back to run. And, you know, and again, I think if Cody had taken this side more quickly, then Ryan Neal may have been able to come up and make the tackle for, you know, less of a gain. As it turns out, this one goes for about 10 or 12 yards. And finally, here's Rachaad White with his big gain. He's already back to, you know, the 3rd level basically with Quandre Diggs back there. And, you know, it's just a huge open chasm here for him to run through. Luckily, you see that Ryan Neal comes up and gets his feet right there. So, look, I don't think it's anything to be too worried about. I think they're going to learn something from this. I believe going into this game that they thought they're not going to beat us with the run. Tom Brady is going to be the one probably to beat us. 52 times he threw in the game I referenced earlier against the Chiefs where they ran for 6 or 9 yards. He threw it 52 times in that game. So I think that's what the Seahawks were betting on. They hung in there. I felt like if they could have got a stop at the end of the game, maybe the offense had a chance to go down and win. But overall, it was just a great experience in Germany. The fans there afterwards were awesome. They were singing. There's a few fans that ran down on the field and got tackled by security, just like here in the U.S. And then, just the guys, all the fans hanging around after the game. That part was really cool. So great experience, but got the bye week here. Going to come back and play the Raiders. It is, and hopefully they'll be all tuned up for that. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you in a couple of weeks.